Matthew Brennan, good morning to you.
Morning, lads. How are we?
The EFL.
Yeah.
English Football League. Yeah.
Bang on.
Good.
In one.
We felt like on Mondays we didn't have enough opportunity to talk about loads of the Irish stories that happened over the course of the weekend. Even like Ryan Manning only got a very late mention yesterday on the show. We didn't even mention Troy Parrott. But we're going to do that on Tuesdays, baked in for the rest of the season.
Is this the first day of the rest of our lives right now?
This is the first day of the rest of our lives, yeah. Exciting times, yeah.
I think you should just establish your credibility here as somebody who knows more about this than anybody else on the team for specific reasons.
State your case there, yeah.
Well, I am a Wigan Athletic fan. We've been in the doldrums of the English Football League for quite some time now. The backstory to why I'm a Wigan Athletic fan is not as entertaining as you might think. There's no real reason behind it at all. But it is true, I have been over. I'm no fake fan. Couch fan, I've been over a couple of times. So that is my
and
credibility,
Wigan,
I suppose.
Is Wigan nice?
Is Wigan nice? It's just that. Well, I haven't really been around England. Is Wigan nice? I haven't been around much of England now, but it would.
So you've nothing to compare it to.
I've nothing to compare it to, but I would describe it as what I would expect a stereotypical English town to be. Just quite quiet.
Okay. That's good.
Not particularly big.
Yeah.
It is in the Greater Manchester area, so there will be bigger towns around it. Not a huge fan base either, despite the size of their stadium.
Well, speaking of fan base, have you met other like-minded individuals in Ireland?
Wigan fans. Actually, one of my mates, randomly enough, one of his cousins is a Wigan fan, but I haven't met him. He's just told me.
So was there a player or an era or a match that got you into it?
Got me into it. It was more the case of I would have grown up in a Man United-centric family. So as a kid, you'd have a couple of Manchester United jerseys, but when you get that bit older and shape your own opinions, I suppose watching the Premier League in the
Hugo Rodallega.
late noughties, around that era, Hugo Rodallega.
They were good. They had a good.
Yeah, Aruna Kone would be more maybe a year or two later, wear number 2 on his back, winning the FA Cup was
bleached head.
Yeah.
For greater context for Matthew's role here, when you weren't that long with us in the office there, we would just randomly shout out Wigan players from that era. Everyone would just love it, which goes back to the whole thing of lads love sitting around calling players out. But that Wigan team, there's nothing more beautiful than that. Jason Kumas, slightly before your time. There was a Spanish player, number 14, Jordi Gomez.
Tidy footballer, yeah.
Who was the left back who scored a beaut against Stoke, halfway line?
Figueroa.
Maynard Figueroa.
His son is playing with Liverpool actually now, interestingly enough.
Really, that is
funny
interesting.
To see, because so is Jason Kumas. Lewis Kumas is on Liverpool's books as well.
See, I think we can really make this a thing like Wigan, an off the ball breakfast.
Look, listen, I'm all for it. We've got Glenn Whelan in there too, assistant manager.
Wow.
A couple of Irish players as well who don't make our EFL team of the week for this week, which we'll get to in a few minutes, but I'll do my best to get them in there over the course of the season.
Well, I was traversing the mean streets of London at the weekend. I didn't catch a tap of the EFL. I saw a few minutes of Southampton Wrexham, which ended very excitedly, which was the Ryan Manning free kick, of course. Absolutely,
yeah, Ryan Manning. I suppose the best way to do this, I mean, to just getting into the EFL over the weekend is just to get into the team of the week and discuss the points. So if you want to throw the team of the week up there, should be a nice little graphic. So
look at that.
Firstly, just to preface, the EFL didn't just get underway last weekend; it got underway the weekend before. So League 1 and League 2 are 2 fixtures in, whereas the Championship have only had 1 round of games. Hence why Josh Keeley is my goalkeeper, as opposed to Gavin Bazunu, who obviously did have a great game and pulled off an unbelievable save there just prior to Ryan Manning's sensational free kick, which we'll get onto in a while. But Josh Keeley made a permanent move to Luton after a successful loan stint at Leyton Orient last year from Tottenham. So got into the playoffs with them last year and has now signed for Luton on a permanent deal. So they've had 2 games, 2 clean sheets, one against Peterborough and the recently promoted Wimbledon. So he hasn't had too much to do. There's been no kind of standout moments of big saves or anything, but he's been solid with his feet and he's obviously kept 2 clean sheets. So
you're going to have like 12 international quality.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's a poison chalice really, being an Irish goalkeeper doing so well at the minute. The fact we're highlighting Bazunu and Keeley in this team, both playing at decent levels, and we've Caoimhin Kelleher who's going to be starting for a Premier League team all season now. So he's in goal. I'm sure again Gavin Bazunu will probably feature a couple of times throughout the year, but it's Josh Keeley for this week anyway. Now, right backs, we don't have a wealth of right backs, funnily enough, across the EFL. We do, obviously, with our national team, we've had Seamus Coleman and Matt Doherty been trying to sandwich them in for quite some time. So I've actually Corey O'Keefe has had 2 wins. He's on loan from Stockport now at the minute, but he did give away a penalty at the weekend, so I didn't feel it was appropriate to put him in. So I've got a centre half as well. Just to preface with this too, I've decided to have three players from each of the leagues, just to kind of give that bit of balance and make sure we can give everyone a bit of a mention. So Shadrach Ogie is at right back, although he is a centre half, just to make that clear. But I just had to get him in. I had to get him in somewhere.
What's his story?
So he actually is from, there's not a whole lot of information out there about him now, but he is from Limerick. He's 23. He was at Leyton Orient as well, funnily enough, a couple of years ago. But he got man of the match of the weekend against Walsall, who some people might remember last year were absolutely storming clear at the top of League Two, and ended up in the playoffs and didn't get promoted. So they're a good side, and he was the man of the match in a 1-0 win against them. They drew in the opening day against Acton and Stanley. But any people from Limerick who'd be familiar with Pike Rovers,
oh yeah,
supposedly that is where Shadrach came through. So
all right.
want to keep an eye on. He's only 23, and he's getting, I suppose this is his second season getting a full crack at first team football in League Two.
Very good.
Moving on then, Boston Lowell was in one of the Ireland squads there not too long ago.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. He's in at centre half now, people might think, but he's a midfielder, which he is. He is a midfielder, but he was played at centre half at the weekend for Stoke. They had a very impressive victory over Derby, 3-1. He played 70 minutes, came off, got a knock in the head, so he came off as a precautionary type thing. They're a little bit light at centre half, Stoke, at the minute. Ashley Phillips was there last year, and he's come back in on loan from Tottenham, but he had a bit of a niggle. Doesn't seem to be up to pace, so Boston filled in there. And it was very impressive. A lot of Stoke fans, just seeing on Twitter, are very, very impressed with how he played. We would expect him to move into the midfield, and was one of the few players, I suppose, in the team this week that you could see him having an impact on the Ireland, the international squad as the season goes on. They've also, as well, here's one for you for talking about Barclaysman, Stephen Nzonzi has re-signed for Stoke in the middle of the field.
No, the original
the OG. Stephen Nzonzi. He's only 36, which was a shock to me now. I thought he was a good bit older than that. But yeah, look, listen, Stephen Nzonzi's a World Cup winner, so I'm sure Boston learned a thing or two from him. Like,
that's class.
Yeah, so that's one of our centre halves. The other one is Conor Hourihane.
He's the joint eldest in your 11.
Yeah, it's a quite young team actually. Yeah.
29.
Yeah, 29. Yeah, interesting one. Again, we saw the like of Mark McGuinness, a little bit younger last year, getting into the Ireland squad. So I'm sure Conor Hourihane will have aspirations of doing so. They kept a clean sheet against Oxford at the weekend. One of 2 former Merview United men in this defence.
Cool.
First, interestingly enough, now I saw a stat on Twitter that was Portsmouth's first victory on the opening day of the season in the second tier since 2002-2003 season, where they went on to get promoted. Now I did do a bit of digging, and I think they've only played 3 seasons in the second tier since then. So whoever put that stat out there was chancing their arm a little bit there, I think. But yeah, so Conor Hourihane, Boston Lowell, Shadrach Ogie make up 3 of the back 4, and then of course the man of the weekend, in my opinion anyway, I think it goes without saying, Ryan Manning.
What a free kick.
What a free kick.
I did see that.
Unbelievable stuff. I think, yeah, I'd be surprised if there's as many people who haven't seen it. Yeah, a good 30 yards out, just sweet as you like. Now the wall didn't jump, which our colleague Dara pointed out, but I don't like to nitpick at these things. I think you can just appreciate it for how good it was.
He just kind of came to life again for Ireland when he played. Was it the Bulgaria away game?
Yeah.
He played. He started to come on, but he was very good.
He's one of them players, I think, under Stephen Kenny as well, when he was at Swansea. He was very impressive at Swansea, and everyone,
squad, really?
Yeah, that was the thing. He wasn't getting in the squads, and everyone was calling for why is Ryan Manning not in the squad, why is he not playing? And then he did come in, and as you said, he showed some bright sparks, but maybe hasn't lit it up as much as people would have expected. But the only thing is now, obviously, the news coming out during the week that Robbie Brady is a major doubt for the upcoming internationals. So Ryan Manning's 29 now.
Yeah.
So he'll be hoping, I think, to get in there now over the next couple of games for Ireland. And again, he didn't start at the weekend, but he didn't do himself any harm.
So you've gone 4-4-F and 2.
4-4-F and 2. Now, just before I get onto the midfield, I do have a quick little video I want to play of the Southampton dressing room after the game, where Will Still, their new manager, I'm sure people are familiar with, is congratulating Gavin Bazunu and Ryan Manning on their performances.
Round of applause for Rana. Round of applause for Stephen. Right, don't take it personally if you've come off with I've had to make substitutions. We're just trying to win the game. Right, that's what we're trying to do. Fair play football. Round of applause for Gav.
Is that some kind of awards thing he's doing? Like American football, they give out a match ball. What was that?
So the award that Ryan Manning had was his Man of the Match award that he got from the match itself, and he was just going around, I assume, just clapping his teammates. I don't know.
But after that, it seemed like he was calling out individuals, and that he mentions Bazunu.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, well, the other individual he called out was Jack Stevens, who scored the winner. Right. So he's just saying round of applause for Ryan, round of applause for Jack, and round of applause for Gav, who obviously made as well. I've kind of brushed past that because obviously Josh Keely's in the team, but Gav Bazunu made an absolutely world class save just before Southampton won the free kick, and Ryan Manning stuck it in the top.
So Manning comes off the bench in his man of the match.
He came on. He only played about 20 minutes. Yeah, and there's a funny little clip floating around there of
hard to drop him for the next game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have
to. The team will still. We could do with him getting a few minutes in his legs.
Exactly. Yeah. So as you mentioned, 4-4-2. Now I've gone 4-4-2 purely because of wanting to get this man in on the left hand side. Now I'll start with the right hand side. Ronan Curtis is in there. Came off the bench on the opening day of the season for Port Vale. People are familiar with Ronan Curtis. He spent a bit of time at Derry in the past, but he's been in now with squads over the last couple of years. But he's in there. Came off the bench against Port Vale, for Port Vale on the opening day of the season, and was a bright spark. They played against Cardiff, Brian Barry Murphy's Cardiff, on the telly on Thursday night, and was a very, very, very poor game. But he did. It was finishing 0-0. Not a lot happened, but again, similar to the first week, he was a bright enough spark. And to be totally honest, I won't spend too much time on it because there's not a whole lot of options there. Casey McAteer came off the bench for Leicester yesterday, but only got about 10 minutes. Then in the middle, Jamie Mullins. Now, Jamie Mullins is a very interesting one. He's someone that I think will be making a lot of appearances in this team.
He's the youngest in your team.
Yeah, he's only 20. and was at Bowes. People remember him getting some appearances for Bowes a couple of years ago. Very young. I think he might have been 17, possibly even 16. Was more of an attacker then, I believe, but he's kind of a little more reserve role now in the midfield for Wickham. He's started their 2 games, been very impressive. They did lose at the weekend to Stockport, but he did grab his first goal. Made a permanent move from Brighton to Wickham, I assume, and not that he was below the standard for Brighton's academy, but it seems as though he's just gone in search of first team football, and it's a good little coup for them. Wickham were in the playoffs last year, so they'll have aspirations. Now they did overperform last year, but he'll be going in there hoping to get them back up there.
I once went to a Wickham Wanderers game in Bradford City with Biddy Buig, and the attendance was 5,002.
Yeah,
you were the 2.
You were the 2. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was nice.
Yeah. It's 5,000 every other week. But
Arthur's just come in. Why?
I was in the area.
Why?
And do you know who the manager was at the time of Wickham? Peter Taylor.
Peter Taylor.
Peter Taylor, former England manager, gave David Beckham the captain's armband. I got his autograph. Peter Taylor, not Beckham.
Moving on then. So Jamie Mullins, obviously, very good so far this season. So we'll be expecting to see a lot more of him. Then now Jason Knight.
I can't believe he's only that age.
Jason Knight, so young. I had a crazy stat last year that at the end of last season, Jason Knight played every game for Bristol City last year. He's also their captain at that age. And
sorry, what age? 22?
I think he's 23, is he?
24,
is it?
I thought he was about 28.
So it was 23 last season. The end of last season, he's obviously only turned 24. But the end of last season, he was 23, and he was the third most experienced 23-year-old in world football. Ahead of him was Rodrigo at Real Madrid, and you might remember Takefusa Kubo, who came through, Japanese player, came through Real Madrid, has played across La Liga, just out on loan and all that. So they were the 2, and then was Jason Knight. So it's funny, Jason Knight, like with Ireland, I just feel like we don't quite get the Bristol City version of Jason Knight with Ireland. I'm not sure why that is, but at the weekend he was phenomenal. Bristol City were phenomenal. They've got a new manager, Gerhard Struber's back in managing them. Would have managed Barnsley in the past. So they went away to Bramall Lane to face Sheffield United, who of course were very unlucky to miss out on automatic promotion. Also,
sounds like a diehard villain.
Up through the playoffs. Gerhard Struber. Very insightful fella, actually. He was good on the post match. But Bristol City went there and won 4-1, played them off the park. Jason Knight played the ball through towards the end of the game for Sinclair Armstrong, who went in on goal but couldn't put it away. But just a very well-rounded performance from Jason Knight.
Another team I wouldn't like to support Just because you have to say their full name all the time.
Bristol City, yeah, of course. And I'm not a big fan of something people know if they've any interest in looking at a few highlights of Bristol City's home games at Ashton Gate. The camera angle is
always been strange at Ashton Gate.
Yeah, it's really, really high up. Now, I know a lot of the tacticos and the football nerds quite enjoy it because they can see everything that's going on, but it's not very easy on the eye.
From a skyscraper.
Yeah, exactly. So Jason Knight and Jamie Mullins in the middle of the field. I think that's something we'll see a lot of this season. And then on the left now, Dylan Duffy. People might remember Dylan Duffy.
Double D,
yeah. He was at Rovers, came through at Rovers, had a season at UCD, and went over. I think to Leyton Orient as well. That might not be accurate, but I think he was at Leyton Orient. Lincoln. Sorry, he was at Lincoln and joined Chesterfield last season. I think on loan initially. I think he's there permanently now. Paul Cook's Chesterfield, actually. Sligo Rovers fans will fondly remember Paul Cook. But I have a video here of Dylan Duffy scoring another free kick for an Ireland team. A great little video.
Oh, what a fucking goal.
That's what it does. Involuntary reactions. But brilliant. Great little angle to have there too. And you can just
for our radio listeners, it was like
explain.
From the left-hand side, he has a left foot curler outside the wall, back in.
Yeah.
About 3 yards wide when he first.
The angle is some fan footage from behind the Chesterfield goal, so you're miles away and you can see the trajectory of the ball just whipping around into the corner. So
he's a left-footed left winger.
He's like he plays on the left of a three. So they have an attacking midfielder. They'd have someone on the left, someone on the right, and someone up front. Will Grigg is there at the minute actually as well, so he's up front a bit. Paddy Mann.
Is he on fire?
Is he on fire? He wasn't. He's smouldering, I would say. Smouldering.
With a chance of fire.
With a chance of fire, yeah. He's not quite gone out yet. But Dylan Duffy, yeah, impressive. A good few free kicks there. The ball over left hand side there, some attacking threat from the free kicks. And Evan Weir actually on the first week of the season too. Drogheda fans might remember Evan Weir scored a worldie of a free kick himself. Also a left back playing with Walsall in League 2, but didn't quite get in the team obviously with Ryan Manning's display.
Some goal.
So we've loads of journeyman left backs. Is what we're hearing. Yeah,
possible journeyman. Tayoada Ramola as well is playing with Leyton Orient. He's only young. He's in with the 21s, and I had the displeasure of watching Leyton Orient dismantle Wigan at the weekend. And Tayoada Ramola was very good. Leyton Orient actually our most represented club, as far as I can tell. There's obviously some players in the youth setups you might not be aware of yet, but 6 Irish players with Leyton Orient currently, for one reason or another. Obviously, Josh Keeley was there last season too, and then the front two. We've got 2 League 2 players in the front two. Aaron Drinnan bagged at the weekend for Swindon Town, got man of the match. He went off injured in the opening game of the season. As far as I could tell from just some of the discourse online, was playing very well. He got hauled down a bit of a rugby tackle challenge and had to go off, but he was back fit the weekend and scored. He's 27 now. Spent a bit of time at Cove and Cork and Waterford, but he was at Ipswich when he was young. I think Ipswich might have been his first move over. But he's found himself at Swindon now, and maybe he can kick on this season. And beside him, I've been trying to get the pronunciation of this perfect, but as far as I can tell, it's Jays Cabia. Is the striker here. He's at Grimsby. This is his first shot at football in the EFL.
He's 25.
He's 25 now. Yeah, he was. I was a bit of a prospect when he was at Cove there a while ago, and he spent a bit of time with Shells. He moved over to England, but he spent a good bit of time below League 2 in the national leagues, and I believe he was at Truro last season, who were one of the favourites to get relegated, and he played, I think he scored something like 17 goals in 12 games towards the end of the season, got a move to Grimsby, and the Grimsby fans have been very impressed with him this season. He scored on the opening day of the season, and he scored again at the weekend, a last minute equaliser against Harrogate to make it 3-3 for Grimsby. Nice little turn of pace in behind. Very quiet game apparently, but one of their fans on Twitter here has said that he's brilliant, gets his chance after working tirelessly and takes it. Different kind of performance to last week, and he still gets his goal. Have we got the real deal here? ? So
hopefully.
One to keep an eye on, yeah. You can move your way up the leagues in the EFL very quickly too. You know, you've bagged 15-20 goals in League 2, you can find yourself up the top of League 1 the next season. So that's our team of the week for this week.
Very good.
I think the way we're going to run with it is this will be the team going into next week, and I'll make a couple of changes accordingly as opposed to resetting the team every week.
We've a bit of managerial representation as well.
We do. I'm not sure if both of you read the notes, but if you hazard a guess, how many Irish managers do you reckon we have?
I did read the notes.
I have it.
I always read the notes.
That's not fun. We'll give everyone a couple of seconds.
Do, yeah.
In the comments there. How many?
Moment silence there.
This is obviously out in the EFL, not including our one representative in the Premier League.
Yeah, not including Keith Andrews, yeah. Okay, I think we've given you enough time there. So we have 5. We have 5. We've got 1 in the Championship, we've got 3 in League 1, and we've got 1 in League 2.
Okay.
I'll run through how they're all getting on now at the minute. So Dean Brennan, obviously we had on the show, on the PM show there last week. He is managing Barnet, newly promoted Barnet. His assistant manager is Conor Smith, also Irish. People might remember him from back in the day. He actually came second on the original Football's Next Star.
Oh, yeah.
And was actually a neighbour of mine at the time.
Which is stop you and your facts.
He's only 32.
He's only 32, yeah. He would have, I think he played for Boreham Wood in the FA Cup against Chelsea one year. And I think then he followed Dean Brennan around for a while. He was at Wellstone with Dean Brennan, and now is their assistant manager. So a little managerial duo there. But they've not started the season now. They'd like to. They did go into the preliminary qualifying round for the EFL Cup and were beaten. People might remember that. They were 2-0 down and going into injury time. Scored a couple of late goals and lost on penalties. But going into the season, then they had the opening day. They lost to Fleetwood on the opening day. I think it might have been Bromley. They played Fleetwood and Bromley anyway, and goalkeeping calamity on the opening day of the season. About 20 minutes in, keeper walks out with the ball, loses it, taps it in, and hence off the back of that they signed a new goalkeeper. So he was on the bench at the weekend. But they were beaten again. So it'll be Dean Brennan, I suppose. It's an interesting one. It'll be a tough season for Barnet. A team coming up out of the National League. People's expectations might be slightly skewed just looking at Wrexham and your Notts Counties and your Chesterfields, even to a point where they've kind of come up and almost pushed to go straight up again. So from what I can tell anyway, I think they'll just be hoping to consolidate their position in League 2 this season, which again won't be easy. I was listening to a couple of his quotes or a couple of his interviews after the games, and it seems as though he's not totally content with how the squad is at the minute. A couple of lads coming back from injuries picked up niggles, so maybe give them a little bit of time to bed in. But I don't think there'd be in any rush to replace him if the results didn't pick up, because he's been there. He's there over, I think, 3 years. So we'll give him a bit of time, but not the ideal start for Dean Brennan at Barnet in League 2. Then in League 1, we'll gradually get a bit better here. So Noel Hunt has not had the start that he was hoping for at Reading this year. He took over from Ruben Selles. You might remember having taken over from Nathan Jones at Southampton a couple of years ago. Ruben Selles has since gone on to manage Hull and is now at Sheffield United, who were dispatched by Jason Knight's Bristol City at the weekend. But Noel Hunt, they faced Lincoln on the opening day, not very impressive there, and then Huddersfield at the weekend. Now Huddersfield will be right up the top of League 1, but again the squad just seems a little bit light from what I can tell. Mark O'Mahony's on loan there. People might know Mark O'Mahony. Brighton, yes, exactly, yeah. And they're actually their only number 9 right now. And Mark O'Mahony was at Portsmouth last year and was in and out of the team, which was good for him in the Championship, just getting some game time at a good level. But it just seems as though he's being thrown into the deep end, not specifically by Noel Hunt, but Reading had a lot of financial troubles, hence why Ruben Selles left and Noel Hunt took over and did really well with them. Narrowly missed out in the playoffs last season on the very last day. But the expectation at Reading is hard to know, really, because after being so close to the playoffs last year, but the squad being so light, it's just, you just hope he doesn't get caught up in something there where an owner's coming in expecting to be up there and the squad isn't quite at that level. Noel Hunt obviously not very experienced as a manager either, but wish him the best, and hopefully things pick up for them over the next while.
Okay,
that's Noel Hunt at Reading in League 1.
They're bottom of the table at the moment.
They're bottom of the table at the moment. Now, I didn't think I'd go too much into the tables just at this stage. There's obviously only 2 games in, but again, that is a fact, yeah. And then, so that's our first League 1 manager. We've also got Brian Barry Murphy, friend of the show. Brian Barry Murphy who's on with us quite a lot. Obviously managed Rochdale in his first managerial role over in England, and then spent a good bit of time in Man City's academy. He's at Cardiff now, recently relegated Cardiff, who've had an interesting summer. They haven't signed anybody, as far as I can tell. They've lost a couple of players, but they've brought up an awful lot of players from their academy, some highly rated players. And obviously that's Brian Barry Murphy's gig. I imagine that's probably why they thought it'd be a good idea to give him the job. They thought some talented players. They've had a good start to the season, I suppose. On paper they picked up four points from a possible 6. The opening day of the season they went 1-0 down to Peterborough, but came back and won 2-1. Second half was very impressive. That was on the telly. That was a 12:30 kickoff. I did sit down and watch that, and they were very impressive in the second half. First half not so much. And then, as I mentioned earlier on, Port Vale during the week was a very uninspiring game, quite drab. But again, Brian Barry Murphy, a man I imagine has got a very set way of playing and might take some time for the players to adapt to that. But 1 win, 1 draw from the first 2 games, you can't have too many complaints. And they'll be looking to go straight back up to the Championship. Their owner, as many people will know, he's a demanding character, an interesting character, but they'll have automatic promotion ambitions, I can imagine. I'm going to come back to Conor Hourihane because he'll be our manager of the week for this week, so I'll come back to that. And then Alan Sheehan obviously only got the Swansea job. It was interim at the end of last season and did really well. They finished the season incredibly strongly, so he got the job on a full-time basis. Darren O'Dea is his assistant manager at Swansea, interestingly enough. So they started their season at the weekend away to Middlesbrough, a very quiet game by all accounts, not a whole lot of action. A set piece deciding that one. Just to kind of emphasise how quiet the game was, the highlights package that Sky put out is about half the length of every other highlights package on the YouTube channel. So a tough opening fixture. Borough will expect to be up there. They have Rob Edwards, Luton's former manager, over them now. Michael Carrick left during the summer, or just at the end of last season. So not the start they were looking for, but I think Swansea, like, they've a mid-table level squad, so any mid-table level team is kind of has slight kind of hope of getting into the playoffs. So that's kind of where I'd be placing them now. But again, Alan Sheehan, his first managerial job as well, which is a running team here. Like, so this can go 1 or 2 ways for a lot of these managers. So
he's very young. He's only 38.
He's only 38. Yeah, exactly, and was the assistant there before he got the job. So finally then, Conor Hourihane, Barnsley, very impressive all round. 2 wins from 2. Impressive again, as I just mentioned, against Plymouth on the opening day. 3-1 win away from home, I believe. And then went 2-0 down to Burton at the weekend at home at Oakwell and showed some good resolve. Came back with a last minute winner from a certain David McGoldrick, who was signed for Barnsley. Dropped down to League 2 the last couple of years with Notts County, where he started his career, I think, and got a call from Conor Hourihane over the summer, and he decided to join Barnsley. So he's gone back up a level. He's 37 now, Dave McGoldrick. He's still scoring goals. His legs maybe aren't quite what they were, but incredibly intelligent footballer. You could watch Dave McGoldrick highlight packages all week if you wanted. Like, he's an exceptional footballer. And we can hear from him now. I think I've got a bit of audio saved in there. We can hear from him.
Atmosphere-wise, nearly 13,000 in Oakwell today. What did you make of it? They were happier at the end, of course, than at half-time.
And I've got to say, and I probably, I get a little bit emotional thinking about it. I thought they were fantastic today. I really did. There was no moaning, groaning. Stuck with us, sang. When we got that goal, they lifted the lads again, and I was really, really, delighted for them. They stuck with us, and delighted that we got the result ultimately for them over anything. Sang my name throughout. Amazing feeling for myself. Family are in the crowd. Big thanks to them.
Yeah, that's special, isn't it? And if it continues this way, we're in for quite an entertaining season.
Yeah, well, look, let's see what happens. But just delighted for them. People go on about records, home and away, and all that kind of stuff. But if we can create that atmosphere, and keep going to the end, and they'll be proud of the team today, no doubt. I'm sure we'll be okay.
Yeah, so Conor Hourihane there speaking after Barnsley's win against Burton at the weekend. I just see CJ in the comments there asking who's getting Irish Player of the Weekend. Mm-hmm. It has to be Ryan Manning. First 20-minute cameo. Jimmy Mullen's very impressive, as were everyone in the Team of the Week.
These moments, people remember the moments.
Yeah,
but
he stole the show.
I would give it I know you're not allowed because it's not EFL, or are we? Is this like Irish Player of the Week outside the Premier League?
Okay,
I'd give it Troy Parrott because...
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we're getting to that. Yeah, that's fair enough.
There's a big shout out here to Finbar Gillen in the... I'm unaware of Finbar's work. I've never seen him before.
No.
Straight in there, Silent Assassin, guest 5. Brother of Aidan, I'd say.
Aidan Gillen, yes, of course.
Irish players outside of England.
Yeah.
Plenty of interest here.
Plenty of interest is correct, yeah. We... that interest will only grow as well as the other leagues get back. The Serie A, I don't believe, is back for another 2 weeks, and we have a couple of interesting sort of players over there. But Troy Parrott stole the show, as Ger just mentioned. 2 goals on the opening day of the Eredivisie season. He's actually scored 7 goals and gotten 1 assist across the 5 games he's played in competitive action this year in the qualifiers for AZ Alkmaar, which is insane numbers.
They are, and I think the important thing, when you would check the live score app you'd see that he'd play 70 minutes or 75 minutes or 80 minutes, but he played the full 90 and scored in the last 10 minutes. And the other important thing was he's on the pens. I know he was on the pens last year, but there's like somebody comes and says, I'm going to take penalties. It's like, no. So he's going to score a load of goals this year. And he's going to play a lot of football. And by all accounts, he was working hard in the off-season as well. So I don't know, maybe this is where Troy Parrott finally begins to hit that level that we thought he was going to be capable of.
Yeah, for sure. And no better place to do it too. Like, I think there's a...
Do you know what age Troy Parrott is without looking?
I would say, if I was to give you an answer now,
I know what age he is, so
I would say he's 23.
Yeah, 23, yeah.
23, yeah.
Had a lot of football for a 23-year-old now.
Yeah, I mean,
for somebody that was like,
he was one of the most talked about players that hadn't been seen at senior level when he was with Tottenham.
Absolutely,
under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, and he had a couple of loans. You see, this is the thing as well. Like, it's not linear for any of these players too. Like, Troy Parrott had a couple of loans in England. I think maybe one successful one in League 2, League 1 with MK Dons. The rest of them very underwhelming. And goes over in a new lease of life, obviously.
This could be all a lifestyle thing as well. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
All these lads are, I'd say, relatively similar talent-wise, but it's just the conditioning that is...
For sure.
Who else do we got here?
So yeah, Anselmo Garcia McNulty is another one now. He hasn't got a cap for the senior team yet. He's been in with the squads. I remember seeing stuff about this guy when he was playing with under 15 squads in Ireland. He's at PEC Zwolle now. Might be PEC Zwolle, I'm not entirely sure there, but he's at Zwolle anyway. And he got man of the match at the weekend. He's only 22 and won the win over FC Twente. But I think maybe the squad to get him involved would have been the Senegal window. I'm not sure if he'll be getting a look in. But again, another impressive performance.
That's Eredivisie.
That's Eredivisie as well. Yes, it is. Yeah. So we've two people of Irish interest over there. As I said, the Serie A is not back for another couple of weeks, but Evan Ferguson, I'm sure people have seen the videos of the behind closed doors pre-season games and some of the other pre-season games. I don't think he got a run against Everton at the weekend in the new stadium, but it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. It seems as though he's going to be in direct competition with Dovbyk at the minute, who they signed for 30 odd million from Girona last summer. Didn't quite kick on last year, but Gasperini, as I don't need to tell people this, like, Gasperini is the perfect manager to get the most out of a young striker, especially of Evan Ferguson's ilk. You look at Duvan Zapata and Ilicic over the years, these big kind of hold up strikers with a bit of technical quality seem to be his bread and butter. So if he can get into the team and get going, we could be in for a big season, hopefully anyway, but we've been saying that for a while. So
Ferguson scored against Kaiserslautern as well, didn't he?
He did,
was
yeah.
An attended game.
Yes, it was, yeah. He scored a hat-trick, I think, in a closed doors game that I'm thinking of. So there's him, and there's also a guy just on the left back thing called, where do I have his name?
Will Ferry?
Will Ferry's over in Scotland. Will Ferry's over in Scotland. He's going very well. Dundee United are actually in the Europa Conference League qualifiers. So Will Ferry didn't play at the weekend for Dundee United ahead of their fixtures at the weekend. So if they were to get in, I mean, that'd be incredible. There's another option at left back there for us. And there's Corey Ndagba as well, who was at Kilmarnock last year, who has got to move to Lecce. He's only 25 and he's a left full back / left wing back / left sided defender.
You'd be getting players like him if he makes the team in Lecce and plays 12 games. You'd be getting him in the squad for a couple of goals. Is this a solution to our issues at left back?
This is the thing. Yeah, we've got a lot of option there. Corey Ndaba. Just got the name wrong there. And Joe Hodge as well, another one.
Oh yeah,
got 90 minutes for Tondela at the weekend in the opening game of their season.
For who?
Tondela, recently promoted team in the Liga NOS over in Portugal.
Oh yeah.
So
this was he was at Wolves.
He was at Wolves. Yeah. He was at Man City, I think, as well. Before that, he's was the captain of the 21. So it's a style of football I imagine could
top division of Portuguese football.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, they've just promoted to the top division. Yeah. But he
Joe Hodge, very highly rated.
Yes, absolutely.
He's always on the bench in the League Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, football over in Portugal could be what he needs. Might suit him. Less physical because he's not the biggest of fellas.
Andrew O'Mamadeli.
Yes, Andrew O'Mamadeli is at Strasbourg, Lemur Senior Strasbourg, who are straight into the Europa Conference League actually as well. They'll be playing in that this year. And he's captained them a couple of times. Very young squad, people might know. Obviously they have the tie-in with Chelsea, who send a lot of their younger players, or the lads, the random kind of guys Chelsea been signing for 20-25 million out to Strasbourg. But Andrew O'Mamadeli has captained them twice in pre-season.
Do you know what age he is?
25.
23.
23. He's very young. Like, there you go. Like, and again, akin to Troy Parrott.
Good age for a captain, like 23.
For sure. Very young squad, though, as I said. Very young squad. So he probably, in a funny sort of way, would be a senior member of that team. Plenty of experience.
And Killian Phillips.
Yeah, he's played 2 90s for St Mirren.
Stole the heart of Irish fans last time out.
Yes, he did, of course. Yeah, he did. He scored a lot of goals. I was looking through there. He scored, I think, 4 or 5 goals in pre-season, randomly enough.
For a centre mid.
For a central, kind of an abrasive midfielder. Like, yeah, wouldn't be known for his attacking output, but yeah, he's played 2 90s. Not a brilliant start for St Mirren. Did a draw and a loss to Celtic, but again, minutes in the tank for another midfielder. Hopefully, Bosun Lawal gets into the midfield with Stoke, and we might bulk up our options there if Jason Knight keeps playing as well as he has been, or he has done at the weekend.
All right. We done?
I think that's it, yeah. That's it for me.
Very enjoyable.
I've just a couple of fixtures, actually, sorry.
Yeah,
just before, just stuff to keep an eye on. Obviously, we've got Shell tonight, so I recommend everyone stick your radio on and listen to the
live commentary.
Yes.
7 o'clock this evening.
Roy Larmer's been in touch, very much enjoying the segment. Says Cork's finest Sean McLaughlin made his debut for Blackburn at the weekend.
He did. They were beating 1-0. And actually, Stephen McLaughlin as well scored an absolute worldie for Mansfield too. Picked up an assist on the opening day as well. But yeah, there's Carabao Cup first round fixtures all on throughout this week, so that'll be a good one to just stick down notifications on your phone.
I was just
and see who scores.
Say it, you should pick a notification team for us every year.
Yeah,
every week.
That's a good shout. I'll do that from this week on. But there'll be a serious amount of Irish involvement tonight and I think tomorrow in the EFL Cup. They tend to, a lot of rotation goes on, so there'll be a serious amount of involvement there. So I reckon stick your notifications on and go searching for the highlights after the goals going.
Fabulous. Great feature, lots of research, says Frank. Great feature. We're having this every week, says CJ.
We are
indeed.
DK in, very enjoyable feature, lads.
Good to hear. Thank you, lads.
The trash heap has spoken. There you go. 9:53.
Whoa.
Oh, you don't get the reference now?
Well, I do, but still, it's the wording, you know.